Jan Pastore, and I'm new at this, so the reason I'm here is to learn how to do this confidently, professionally, successfully. So I plan to do that. I don't have a number, but want to get as many as I possibly can, customers and members. I only have a few members so far. Would love to get, or a few customers so far. Would love to get at least one member by the end of the day. But basically as many as possible.
Okay, are you open to some coaching on this?
Yes.
Okay. So, what would you guys say as
Let's
your
grab
coach?
the mic so the camera can hear you, Michael. This
Yeah,
way.
I'm going to get over here, actually.
Oh, I can do it.
Yeah, get over here. Okay, great. So are you open to some coaching on this?
Yes.
Excellent. So I'm going to crowdsource this. You guys are expert coaches. What would be your advice?
Get some kind of parameter, like some actual
Get a parameter,
numbers.
get an
Give
actual
yourself a
number.
little- yeah.
Now, why would you say that? Guys, think now. This is, why would you want somebody to have numbers? What would be the point of that? What would be the purpose? What would be the benefit? Yes, please.
As someone who had a really hard time setting goals, I actually almost refused
Yeah.
to put a number out there. When I actually started putting numbers,
Yeah.
whatever it was,
Yeah.
I started making numbers.
Okay.
So it's like it sets that container. and
Sets a
you can
container
step forward
to step forward into.
towards those numbers.
Yeah. Okay, so,
Whatever.
thank
It's
you.
the power of
You ever heard?
intention, isn't it?
You ever heard what gets measured gets done?
Yep.
Yeah.
Know what you want.
Well, you set yourself up for success rather than.
Set yourself up for success. Because how do you know if you got to win? So you could be halfway through the course and have none, but you don't know if you're winning or losing because you don't know what the end goal is, right? We don't know what your end goal is, so how do we know, gosh, we're going to come over and support, or, she looks okay, we'll just let her roll. So that's why we spent time yesterday, everybody, on getting a number. It's not that we're numbers junkies. I don't particularly like numbers. I'm not good at all that stuff. But what I know is, if I don't know where the goalpost is, how do I know if I won? How do I know if I'm halfway there, or part of the way there, or not even on the field? Right?
Right.
So here's a tip or a task, if you'll accept it, is to create some numbers before we get back in the room. And here's another tip. Have them be modest numbers to start with. See, part of the reason, why do people not want to set numbers, and I'm not talking about you, but in general, why are people afraid to set a number? It's the fear of failure. Because I set a number in 6th grade, and I was so embarrassed because everybody laughed because I didn't do it. Well, the last time I said I was going to be platinum by December, I didn't make it, and I am so embarrassed. It has to do with something like that, maybe? So, this is the breakthrough for boot camp, perhaps for you, and that is to set a number, and I'm going to counsel you to make it a number you know you can hit it. We're not looking for a big challenge right now. We're just looking for you to be comfortable in the system or the structure of having a number. Now, if we get halfway down the road, you go, yeah, that's easy. I'm going to do that. Well, let's raise it then. But let's not set it so high that you what? You're setting yourself for another failure in a string of failures. We're not after that. Wouldn't it be much better to go from day to day to day to day, getting a win, 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 by having a number you can hit, rather than put a high number and get a loss, 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 I'm out of here. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Are you open to, what do you want to do with that?
With,
The coaching.
I will set some numbers.
Beautiful. And will you check back in with us either before or when we hit the room and let us know what your
Yes.
numbers are?
I will check back in with you
Thank you.
before we leave this room.
Oh, before we leave this room. And look, if you have, any of you have, or if you have a history of going into freak-out mode about numbers and goals, what would be a good spare tire strategy for you if you move into an old pattern?
Well, I think it definitely makes sense to set an attainable goal.
Okay.
So that, to set one that I can achieve
Okay.
and continue from there.
Okay. So do you feel any resistance to setting those? And it's okay. I mean, it's not right or wrong. Do you feel like...
No, just the main thing is just that having not done this before, I have no idea what's
Okay.
practical.
Okay. So what would be a
would be
good
good.
support for you around getting a practical number?
Well, I guess talking to some people that have done this before
Beautiful.
to see what is practical within their experience range and go from there.
So who's going to be your coach? You want to select somebody? Anybody in the room probably would be willing to do it?
Penny is my coach, and I'm willing to be coached by anybody else that would like to coach me.
Okay, Penny, do you accept that? Will you work with?
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.